Denver's plan to get more cars off the roads working.
I've been looking at e-bikes for a while because I want to replace my car eventually.
Probably more than the city anticipated.
The floodgates opened up and nobody quite knew what we were getting into.
But if you haven't been able to cash in on the city's offer, a new way to do so is coming soon.
We're looking at the city and county of Denver to kind of see what's been really successful for them.
A healing journey 9 years in the making.
We thought we knew for sure who did it the entire time. However, we had no proof.
9 years after a woman was murdered on the Front Range, these pages hold her memory.
Was this a labor of love for you?
Sure, by far.
Did you do it for Annie?
Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. The city of Denver knew there would be interest in its e-bike rebate program, but they likely didn't expect this much.
A new application system opened today to snag a rebate, and so many people logged in at the same time, the system was overwhelmed.
The 2,000 rebates up for grabs are gone already, but if you miss your chance this time, there will be others.
Denver 7's Megan Lopez explains.
We're here, we've got a couple of our master bike mechanics that are building 2 different bikes.
At the Fatty Bike headquarters in Denver, things are on a roll. This production facility has been really busy the past couple of years as more people buy e-bikes.
And now everybody knows somebody who has one, loves it.
The demographic of people buying these rides is also changing. It's younger families with kids, commuters, and people looking to escape their cars and high gas prices.
These cargo bikes have been our hottest seller because we've got parents wanting to take their kids to school or buy lots of groceries.
Denver's new e-bike rebate program is bringing even more demand. The city's offering between $400 and $1,200 vouchers to help pay for these bikes because they're not cheap.
Majority of our bikes start right around $2,000.
On Monday, the city offered up 2,000 rebates, and shortly after opening, the system was overwhelmed with requests.
Open and closed as fast as, Janet Jackson Ticketmaster sale.
It's only accepting income qualified applications right now, but it will offer more rebates once a month from now through December.
The rebate is fantastic.
Emily Kleinfelter received an earlier rebate and loves her new e-bike.
It's an investment for me. It's going to replace my car, and it's ultimately it's still cheaper than buying a new car.
She wants to see more people using them. This year, Colorado lawmakers also allocated $12 million for a statewide rebate program.
We're still very much in the planning stages.
Sarah Thorne is responsible for figuring out how it's going to work.
I do want to make sure that the rebate amount is enough to kind of offset the cost of the bike since they are expensive.
Low and moderate income Coloradans can apply for those rebates, which Sarah says could be offered by January. She's hoping the program can buy 12,000 bikes, but
we want to make sure that the amount is substantial enough, so it might be a little less than we had originally anticipated.
Back at Fatty Bikes, their mechanics are rolling through the orders.
I love seeing the city and now the state really stepping it up.
Bracing for even more as these rebate programs ramp up. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Wow, so popular. And the city of Denver sent out a statement apologizing for the hiccups today as a result of so many people logging on at once. And they promised though to honor the applications of any user who attempted to verify their email but were unable to do so. And the next round of rebates will open August 1st.
About 200 gallons of diesel fuel is believed to have spilled into Bear Creek today after police say someone tried to steal fuel from a parked semi. This happened in the area of Dartmouth Place and Dartmouth Avenue before 7 o'clock this morning. Lakewood police say a hole had been drilled into the fuel tank, and then residents started smelling and seeing the fuel pouring out of the truck. No word yet on the impact to the creek, and no one has been arrested yet.
Well, Colorado's fire season isn't just during the hot summer months anymore. It is year-round. And today, Governor Polis announced new grants to help with wildfire mitigation efforts. Colorado's Department of Natural Resources is moving $13 million for on-the-ground mitigation work. $44 million will be used to protect and restore watersheds threatened by recent wildfires. Also, the governor announced that the state's new Strategic Wildfire Action Program will invest $25 million in wildfire mitigation. Now, that money is spread out across focused areas in the state already identified by this program. The action program was approved and created through a new law passed this last session.
Now, we're used to the weather impacting flights out at DIA. Yesterday, 51 flights were diverted from DIA because of weather. And some passengers say what happened after was just nuts. Mara Holliday was flying home from vacation in Orlando when unfavorable winds, they said, diverted her flight to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And she says she and her 2 girls were stuck on this hot plane sitting on the tarmac for 7 hours. And Mara says, according to the pilot, the runway was under construction and just too short to take off safely.
I stayed on the plane. 20 people got off and all of the luggage onto the other rescue flight. This was such a breakdown on so many levels on the part of United, in that they didn't have any idea what to do.
United has not answered our emails about what happened with Mara's flight.
Search and rescue teams have been out all day looking for a hiker. This is 41-year-old Luis Corcoran here behind me. He summited a 14er Saturday afternoon, but then he never made it back down to his car. The search is going in the areas of Kit Carson Mountain and Challenger Point. Both are 14ers fairly close to one another east of the town of Crestone. Rescue teams say Corcoran summited Kit Carson Mountain and then planned to descend via the Challenger Point summit. So search is happening right now on foot and from the air.
Last month, this drug bust was praised by Colorado State Patrol and the DEA as the largest U.S. highway fentanyl seizure in history. And now the man who was arrested connected to the seizure is at large after he ditched agents after agreeing to work with them. Court documents show after state troopers arrested 26-year-old David Maldonado, he agreed to work with the DEA in hopes of arresting others involved in the operation. And they allowed Maldonado to continue delivering the drugs to Indiana, but say they lost track of him after he removed the tracking device from his car. Right now, there is no word on his whereabouts.
The family of a Colorado murder victim is reaching out to Contact Denver 7 to help keep her memory alive and also keep the killer behind bars. Our Jacqueline Allen covered this case extensively nearly a decade ago now and kept in close touch with a family that fought so hard for justice.
It's been 9 years since we first covered Annie Meyer's story. For her family, it feels like yesterday.
Exclusive video.
In 2013, Annie Meyer, a quiet bank worker, mysteriously went missing from her Wheat Ridge home. Melissa lived with Annie here. Her disappearance catching our attention.
How many stories did I do with you?
Oh, a lot.
For 5 months, Denver 7 followed Annie's brother, Mark Meyer, as he kept her case alive.
We thought we knew for sure who did it the entire time. However, we had no proof.
Finally, the tragic break came when Annie's remains were found in the Park County woods. Her roommate and former girlfriend eventually confessing in this police interview. The painful ordeal ended in a plea agreement. Second-degree murder, 20 years in prison.
How do you plead?
Guilty. Bringing us to the present. Over the last 9 years, Annie's brother has written a book just for family and friends.
Was this a labor of love for you?
Sure, by far. I thought they will never know the story if somebody doesn't write it.
Pages filled with behind-the-scenes stories of friends and family confronting the suspect, wondering if they should have fought for more prison time, promising to fight early parole.
In life, you have to move on. There's no doubt about it, but do I still cry? Sure. It's a normal thing, I think.
On a cross-country trip, he's going back in time, visiting Annie's bench, her grave, and the people he feels made a difference.
Well, first of all, we appreciate you.
Hand-delivering his book to this journalist he calls the scoop reporter, a journalist who's never forgotten this story or the family, making sure Annie's voice is still heard.
You are an amazing reporter.
This means a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For Contact Denver 7, I'm Jacqueline Allen.
Well, Meyer says a woman convicted of this crime could be eligible for parole in 2026. The family will fight to make sure she serves every day of that 20-year sentence.
Colorado has become accustomed to winning championship trophies. First, you had DU winning the Hockey National Championship. Then the Mammoth won the National Lacrosse League Cup. And of course, the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup. And now we can add the Mile High Blaze to that list. The women's semi-pro football team won their first ever Division II national championship in the Women's Football Alliance over the weekend. The team's owner hopes this championship and sharing the team's story will inspire generations to come.
I hope that it shows youth that they have a place in football, that girls growing up can actually play a game that they love. It doesn't have to stop in high school. You have a place, you know.
The team has won multiple conference championships. This is their first national championship, so congratulations to all.
Hope you enjoyed the 70s and 80s today. The 90s are going to make a quick comeback.
Not many people want to talk about it, but doing so can help save lives.
What most people don't realize is that the majority of people who die by suicide are men.
We have a discussion on mental health and look at the industry struggling the most.
We sort of have our own little pandemic going on here, and suicide in this industry.